Hey everybody, this is Candee with Century 21 Atwood, and I just want to share with you some thoughts that have been going through my mind kind of for this week. I just a little bit of history, if you will let me take you back. Trail Drive, I'm going to be talking about my experience with listing and selling 10 Trail Drive and 4 Trail Drive. So Trail Drive is just really near and dear to my heart. Mark and I bought some of the land on Trail Drive all on one side and developed that anywhere from 15 to 18 years ago. I always kind of judge my time frame by my kids, and I remember my middle child, Carson, who is now 18, being in a car seat when we were driving through the lots and in our truck and driving around, and he's just in the back seat bobbling around. So I think it's anywhere from 15 to 18 years. Anyway, so we shortly after we bought it, we were living in a townhouse. And then we bought a house on Doc Jones that kind of came with the property, and we were going to remodel that, and then decided not to. Just wasn't the house for us. And then the Lowell Andreas house came up, and that is at 10 Trail Drive. And we just thought that was just the most amazing property. Long, sprawling house, sat on all kinds of acres, overlooked Rasmussen Woods, just thought that was perfect. So we bought that. We were going to remodel that, had plans to do that. And then our family was part of an incident at Rasmussen Woods, and the backyard just overlooked the crime scene, and we decided wasn't really the house for us. So we divided that property off and built on the other sides, of which we can't see Rasmussen Woods from there. So all is good. Fast forward, we've been at 4 Trail Drive for 10 years. We were at 10 Trail Drive for a little over 2 years, I believe. So we've been in the neighborhood for 12 years, right? And now it's time for us to sell. And so I got our house under contract. So it started with 10 Trail Drive. Got that house got a listing on that one. The neighbors and I were just kind of talking, and Mark, the what ifs, and kind of started out maybe not as a serious conversation. And before I know it, they're like, well, list our house, see if we can get our house sold, and then we'll buy your house. Well, it all happened so fast. So I did a listing contract, brought in my own buyers, signed a purchase agreement, got my house listed, signed a purchase agreement for that, and now here we are, closing day. So it kind of brings you up to speed. So Monday was closing day for 10 Trail Drive, and then the the sellers are gonna rent back from the new owners until August sometime. Anyways, so the buyer and seller had the opportunity to meet, and we're standing outside. And if you don't know the location, I'll just kind of quick set it up for you. So 10 Trail Drive sits kind of like right about here, and then we share a driveway, and then my house, which is 4 Trail Drive, is on the other side. So very, very close to each other, but spread out in this 12-acre neighborhood or area kind of. Anyway, so they were just talking about how great Trail Drive is, and they're so excited to be moving in and just gonna love the property. And then of course, the going to be buyers of my house were saying how excited they were to be able to be moving right next door and have a nice backyard and a pool. And they have 2 little girls, and they were excited about being able to run around and play in this gym. And I'm just kind of standing there to the side listening, because they're talking about my house, and Trail Drive is kind of the property that we developed. And I got really sad, and I just thought, why am I moving? I don't think I want to move. And the reason we are moving is Mark is a builder and just always feels he has to be doing something different and new. And we have an awesome new floor plan and house that we're going to be building. And if he had his way, he would have moved 5 to 7 years ago. But we have kids and raised them, and you just kind of get comfortable, right? But anyways, I was so sad thinking, I gotta move out of this neighborhood. Not only are my neighbors awesome people, but the new buyers that bought 10 Trail Drive are so cool. I just really like them a lot, and I would love to be their neighbor. I just kept thinking, I'm not selling my house. I don't want to sell my house. So I went home, and I was kind of telling Mark about it a little bit, and I got very teary-eyed, and I'm like, I'm not moving. I don't want to sell my house. There's not room for Trail Drive to expand. So I will never be back on Trail Drive again. And first of all, I just love my house, but love the location about it, or everything about it, and the location. So just very sad. And Mark's like, well, you have to sell. You signed a purchase agreement. And I'm like, nope, I'm not selling. I'm not going to closing. I'm not selling. I don't care. I'll take the consequences. So obviously, I'm going to sell my house. I'm going to move out. I'm going to go through with the contract because I know I have the legal obligation to do so. But it really just made me kind of sit and think about this is what sellers go through. Since I've been a realtor for 7 years, I have only sold one other home that I personally lived in, and that was a cabin that we had up north. And I kind of had the same emotions. I'm like, I'm not going to closing. And Mark's like, you are. And I'm like, nope, I'm not. And I actually didn't. I did a remote close because I was too emotionally attached and did not want to leave. But this is just a little bit closer to home because I'm here every single day. The cabin, I wasn't there, very much. But again, this is what sellers go through. It's very emotional of, do we sell, do we not sell? And then once it's under contract, you're kind of like, oh, I guess I'm selling my house and I'm moving out of my house. And, for me, I have a little bit of fears of where am I going to go for temporary living? Where am I going to get boxes from? When am I going to have the time to move? Who's going to help me? And just, so many things. That I think is really helping me be able to sit in the shoes of a seller. So all you sellers out there that are maybe going through the same emotions I'm going through, I would love to help you and love to be that realtor that can actually relate. And I'm not only a realtor, I'm an actually real human person that has these exact same feelings and emotions that sellers are going through. I think it's way different if you really have to sell, you have a new job or you have just completely outgrown your house, or some big, financial hardship that you have to sell your house. Makes it a little bit easier when you physically have to move out of your house. I don't really have to be moving right now, so it's just our choice to do something different. But anyways, all you sellers, I can relate to you now. So I love that I'm going through this experience. My husband and my real estate coach says, I think every realtor should have to sell their house every 2 to 5 years so they can be in the shoes of a seller. So for all you sellers, I am not only a realtor, I am a human being. I am a real person experiencing your same thoughts. So if you would love to visit with me about listing your house or the whole selling process, I am here for you. I know what you're going through, and I would love to be your realtor of choice. So remember, for all your real estate needs, you guys, you can just ask Candee.